have ended in a draw here. Instead, we saw a draw in a crazier way, and okay, they're off. It's Armageddon.
It is Armageddon, and Magnus starts with 10 minutes on the clock. Alireza has 7 minutes, and remember, Magnus playing with the white pieces is in a must-win situation. The players will get a 1 second move increment once they pass move 41. And oh, look at that!
Magnus D3 on the board.
With a sense of humor, putting his bishop on d3 for the second time today in front of his own d-pawn.
And now we know the inspiration behind my classical game. He clearly prepared this line against the Petrov, and he thought, okay, a bishop on d3 there wasn't bad. Why not play it against the Sicilian? But this is the Petrov. There have been a trade of e-pawns, and it's just a question about whether white is able to generate enough activity with his extra move here in a symmetrical position.
Well, this is not a nice thing from Firouzja to play the Petrov, which is so drawy sometimes. And we would wanted to see something g5 and firework in this game also, but it seems like Firouzja is so happy to get away in the classical game that he says, okay, draw brings the victory in Armageddon, so let's be very solid.
Wow, and black looks rock solid. I'm really surprised by Magnus's opening approach in a must-win situation, needing to win with white for the points here because he's allowed some trades already.
Shout out to Eric Rosen in the chat. He says, oh, no Stafford Gambit.
Yeah, no Stafford Gambit, unfortunately, at this level, not yet at least. Maybe in the last round, if Hikaru needs to beat Fabiano for tournament victory there, we will see an opening like that one. But okay, what do you think, Judith? Any chances for white to create an advantage?
Well, Magnus has to create something. The question is where is he going to bring the bishop to develop? Is he going to play b3 and bishop b2, or bishop to e3 or f4 later? But for the moment, he goes queen b3, attacking the b7 pawn.
b7 swiftly defended, queen c8. Yeah, black is a bit cramped, you've got to say.
Maybe d5 and knight d4 is a very typical way of continuing the fight, and it's on the board.
You call it, Judah, you predict it, and white's knight is going to find a beautiful outpost, or beautiful square at least, on d4, gaining time in the process. And you think Magnus will keep pieces on? Oh, wow, he trades off, creates a very strong d-pawn here for himself.
Makes a lot of sense, because now if white is reaching c5 and rook c1 or rook d1, white has a very nice position. So this is why knight d7, immediately trying to block the opportunity for white to go c5.
Yeah, black's knight wants to come around to c5 itself and hit this white queen. And yeah, both players playing extremely fast up to this point. Magnus has maintained his time advantage in 3 extra minutes.
I think rook e1 is a sensible move, but he goes rook c1, and after knight c5, I believe he wants to bring back the queen to d1 and later play b4.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boys. sound right, boys.
How black wants to go bishop to e4 in the center and attack probably the d5 pawn, because for now the g2 pressure is not much, but I can imagine that black goes bishop e4, f5, queen g6 and looking for counter chances.
Okay, Magnus slides over to c3, very safe square. He'll move on the board, Judith. He needs some counterplay, and he's survived a worse position than this already today for Firouzja, so he will be feeling optimistic if he can whip up some activity. What's Magnus gonna do? Okay,
Capture on a7.
He can take this pawn, he can take the pawn on c7, he has done.
Look c7 first.
Now the black queen has avenues in.
Queen a4 you wanna say?
Yeah, first move that comes to mind, and he plays it. Activity over everything here. Hitting the white light square bishop.
At the same time, bishop can come back to f1 where it's extremely safe and defends everything, the back rank and the g2 square.
And played on the board.
It is played, but the a2 pawn is dropping.
But there's an e5 pawn can drop. And then an a7. I mean, they're quite...
We're gonna see that because that's exactly what's happened in the game.
And the problem is for black, if queen d5 takes, then rook d7 and the piece is going to be falling off for Firouzja.
You cannot take that white pawn on d5, you lose a piece. You'll get skewered at the end there, and Firouzja shaking his head for the first time in this game.
But how does he maintain the piece?
I don't think he can. I think he's missed this. I think he was banking on the fact that he can play queen takes pawn, but this will not work. Wow, Firouzja stops the clock and resigns.
Yeah, Magnus once again takes an Armageddon victory and nets 1.5 points. And there you see the two players smiling, analyzing. But what a dominating performance by Magnus in the Armageddon match.
Yeah, it was abrupt, the finish there, but he was always in control, Magnus. Judith, nice technique.
Well, very nice. I didn't think that out of the Petrov it will be so easy, or seemingly so easy, to make the victory for Magnus, but it all started when he came out with the queen, I think, and he started to develop his pieces, pushing it when it was impossible for him to exchange the knights, and then the c-pawn was pushed. That's where everything started to go on the side of Magnus.
Yeah, now we see the players discussing. Magnus pointed to his head as if he missed something, but it felt like he always had things under control. And yeah, it's been two fascinating games between these two guys. Oof, they got it close. So much drama.
Oh, there are a lot of dramas in these two games. But in the classical more.
Yeah, this is true.
Starting out from move 3 until the last move.